We got new internet at the house. We're running
Cool.
fiber now.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, it took long enough. That was a whole ordeal. I don't know what it's been. People coming in through the neighborhood doing door to door shit like
Oh yeah.
crazy lately.
Yeah, we've got the same thing. I had to put a sign on my door that says no solicitors because they kept coming
I
by.
I almost did because I'm
You might have the better price. I can find you on the internet. Get the fuck off my doorstep. You know what I mean? like,
yeah. Well, the crazy thing is too so this guy came. I'm trying to get the lighting better. I don't know what the hell's going on with the lighting right now down here in the basement.
quantity,
So
not quality, sir.
it was like 2 weeks ago. I had a day off and I'm just like doing shit, making enchiladas, like my hands, like when I do the enchiladas, I don't use utensils to scoop. I literally just fist everything. Like I hand shredded the beef and everything, and I'm going through and I'm like stuffing these enchiladas. And somebody's like knocking on the door and like ringing the doorbell and shit, like almost frantically.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So I end up going to the front door covered in enchilada. And this kid, like he's a young kid, and I can already like being in a sales job now myself. I can
Right.
I can smell a sales pitch right out of the gate. He's wearing company stuff, ID badge, and everything like that. And he's like, "Hey, man, I was just admiring your car out there." And for in case this makes it for anybody who doesn't know, I have a 2019 Subaru Impreza Sport. Quick glance would make you think it's a WRX. So he's going on and on about the car. I'm like, no, it's just an Impreza Sport. Like very clearly this kid doesn't know anything about cars. He's like, oh yeah, you got the turbo in that. The Impreza Sport does not come with a turbo. Like it's financially not worth it to even attempt to put a turbo in it. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So he starts going into his sales pitch about Brightspeed Internet, and I was like, hey man, like I actually like was already in the market anyways. I was gonna give you guys a call. I'm kind of in the middle of something right now. Like literally like gesturing to myself, like not actually touching anything, like holding my hands out in front of me, very obviously covered in Mexican spices. And I was like, hey, I'm kind of in the middle of something right now. He's like, oh, no, yeah. Like, yeah, if you were going to give us a call anyways. I was like, well, I mean, it was going to be you guys or there was another company that just installed fiber lines in my area. And I was going to look in between the two, which I kind of had already decided I was going to do the Brightspeed anyways. So I was just like, okay, like, hey, man, like, can I like get a number and I'll call you in a summit? He's no. Tell you what, we're running a thing right now. If you sign up, and I'm like, okay, like again, I am in the sales business and I know this kid
Right.
probably gets a commission,
Right.
so it's like, okay, all right, we'll do the thing. So I just signed up for it. Now, fast forward to it was last week when we got this installed, and I'm dealing with all of my shit, forgetting that I had this appointment. So then I had to invite strangers into my house while I'm dealing with my shit
Right. Right. Right.
to install fiber lines. And then on top of all that, like the guy is like trying to be chatty. Like he comes down and sees my computer and everything. He was like, "Hey, yeah, so what all do you stream, dude? Like Call of Duty, everything like that." I'm like, "No, no, none of that." He's like, "Oh, yeah, you got a pretty nice setup down here." I was like, It's fine. It's very average actually." Um, but he's going on and on and on about
He's just trying to
everything.
be nice.
Yeah, he was trying to be nice, and then like once they got the fiber line installed, like dude would not listen to me when I was telling him about like my equipment and everything. I was like, hey, so I want to be very clear. I don't need a modem router combo. I need whatever comes in. It's not an actual router with fiber lines. So I was like, I just need whatever that is that'll flip it over to an Ethernet so I can use my own stuff. Oh no, no, no. I got to hook your stuff up like this and everything. But I'll get it worked out. I'll get it worked out. And he like did this dumb relay system where he like
oh.
plugged the network terminal into their wireless equipment, but then ran a line from the wireless equipment into my router. And it was like, no, just like none of these things. And then like he finishes everything. He's like, "Hey man, I'm actually in a rush, so like I have to get out of here because like I have like family stuff that needs done." I was like, "Dude, like you're doing more than I told you needed to do to begin with, so like
Just go."
it's all you." After he took off, I realized he left his fucking DeWalt Impact on the side of my house, and I'm like, now I got to get a hold of this guy because I don't know if you know anything about these things, but they're pretty expensive.
Hugely expensive, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, fucking Christ. So I get a hold of this guy, and then on top of everything else with me dealing with what I've been dealing with, I had to then make myself presentable the next day in the morning to give this man his Impact. So it was like the world's greatest inconvenience all around.
Dude, I hear you. Every time they come over anymore, I'm not even nice anymore. Melissa gets mad at me. I just open the door and go, "No!" And I shut the door. And that's it. Like I don't even play with them anymore because like every time we've ever even honored them for a second, we get screwed over somehow. And I'm like, nope, not even going to try anymore. Not even going to try. And on top of that, again, I have the internet. If I want to switch to your company, I'll switch to your company. I don't give a shit about you or you coming to my door. Just get the fuck off my porch. Like, Jesus.
Time to get your fix. It's a horrible gaming podcast. It's not good. It's not great. Horrible gaming podcast. It's not even what you would call fair. It's really not that good. Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Zach Wright with Old Man Gaming, and you, dear listener, have decided for whatever reason to tune into another Horrible Gaming Podcast. I am not alone. Usually I am never alone. With me is
Neil, a.k.a. Tiny Wizard.
Now that our heads have changed sides, I have to get used to pointing the right way because I used to have to like tell myself to point the wrong way to like point at you. And now I actually just point the right way and you're there. It drives me nuts. Now I have to tell myself to do it the right way when it's the right way in the first place. So yeah, that aside, welcome back, guys. We took a couple weeks off there. Sorry, it was impromptu. Had to be done. Nothing to be done about it, but we should be back for at least a good foreseeable future, I want to say. Barreling quickly towards the Horrible Game Awards. So we're back. Gamescom happened. It wasn't that big of a deal for some of us. And honestly, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I just did the trailer thing that I've been doing. It is a much more enjoyable experience than watching Jeff Keighley pander around on stage. So what we're going to do is we're going to obviously talk about your fan interaction. Then we're going to talk about a subject that we kind of even more so came out of Gamescom, which is indie games doing Nintendo games better than Nintendo. And then once we're done with that, we're going to just kind of check in on Gamescom instead of the news, because basically the news would all be Gamescom related things anyway. And then we'll call it. So hopefully a quick, easy show for you guys to listen to for us coming back. But before we do that, we have to thank the people who have made this show possible. Behind Our Ugly Mugs is a custom graphic that was provided by Mr. Mark Bell. We thank him for that. And of course, this show and all the shows here on Old Man Gaming, music is provided by the man who makes music, my brother Nick Van Siders. We thank him for that. We'll be right back with Fan Interaction.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to our first segment, our most important segment. That is Fan Interaction. That's where we talk to you guys, the fans. We read out your comments, we riff on them. Only Jason this week, unless William Hohen's post got deleted. If it did, I am sorry, William Hohen. That is very frustrating. But I think it was just Jason. So let's read them out. Jason, I'm a weird person about having to know anything about Brock, whoever, and making weird opinions about it. I'm a weird person about having to know anything about Brock whoever and making weird opinions about it. Did we talk about Brock Lesnar? Is that what he's referring to, maybe?
I'm sure something wrestling related came up. Because I'm pretty sure that was the last time we recorded was when we watched the SummerSlam thing at somebody else's house.
Something like that. I didn't realize I put that in as a bonus or whatever. Sorry, Jason. There's definitely going to be some disconnect because we have been off for a while. So just sorry about that. Then he continues, Bowsette is just Bowser and magical drag. Look, I'm confident enough in my sexuality to say Bowser is hot as shit when he's in that magical drag. Period. Sorry.
I've been on the internet. I know what this is.
I've been on the internet. I know what this is. Jason then continues, so you're telling me the stork isn't real? Moving on. FF7 is the most overrated game ever. And Sephiroth is the most overrated character. FF6 was better in every way. Kefka is a superior villain. I did not play FF6, but I agree because FF7 makes me angry. It always makes me angry. Every second of playing FF7, and then when I summarily gave up and watched my brother finish it, made me mad. It was like something cool was happening, and then they ruined it with something stupid. Just one thing after another for me. I would get attached to a character, and then that character would be ridiculous. Like 10 seconds later, I got attached to something, or they'd be dead, or they'd be insane, or they'd set up a cool moment, and it would just devolve into just a button push or something. FF7, I will always have a deep-seated disdain for FF7 in my heart. In my heart, Jason. So I'm with you.
I think story-wise, I still to this day, weirdly enough, my first experience with Final Fantasy VII truly has been through the remakes. I've talked about this before. I had the original Final Fantasy VII. I almost got through the first disc. My save file corrupted. Right. And I have this thing about like going back through after I've played a certain amount of time of a game. So I never got back to it. But I think Final Fantasy X's story is pretty decent, with minor exceptions. They don't do the ridiculousn's as much unless it's intentional. I'm sure we've all seen the Titus forced laugh meme. But outside of that, I actually enjoyed Final Fantasy X, and I would even dare say Final Fantasy X-2, even though that one is very much hated. I can understand the hate of it. But yeah.
Like I said, 7 was enough for me, and then I was never trying again. As far as the remakes go, I don't really know what they've offered forward, and that's fair. It could be a completely better experience. You know what I mean? I just like the original game just never hit the beat for me. It was always like throwing at the bullseye and hitting the wall, like every time. For me at least. But moving on, Jason, I used to love turn-based games. I used to love the more abstract position of strategizing from above. But now, I much more prefer to be down in the grit and the action. And that's fair. That's absolutely fair. I mean, everybody's got their preferences. I think it's weird, because I'm almost kind of like reverse of that. Like, I would have never played a 4X game as a kid. Like, it's just like, a game that's a spreadsheet? I have no interest in that, nor would I ever. I want to play Max Payne, where I just shoot people in bullet time all day, every day. Now, and don't get me wrong, there are definitely games that still speak to me as the grit. I am still a huge beat-em-up guy. We talk about it regularly on the podcast, but, like, 4X games are huge for me now. I love certain 4X games. Age of Wonders 4, I still play it. I still stream it on the channel. That's how much I love that game. So, like, it's weird. I think there's something to be said, personally, about if you've been gaming your entire life, as you get older, scripts flipping, because I've also talked about this on the channel before. When I was younger, I enjoyed a more narrative short experience. I enjoyed just playing for like 2-3 hours, getting to the end, beating it, and being done. Whereas I remember Skyrim was the first one that I was like, I want to play a game that has 500 hours of content and never be done with it. And then once I did that, now that's what I want. I don't want the shorter narrative experience. I want an experience that's tailor-made to me that I'm never really done with, so I can always go back into it. So like, but it's like a flip, you know what I mean? Like I feel like almost like part of it is subconsciously on a level you play something for so long, you've done it enough, and your brain just goes, let's try it the other way, and then you get excited about that again,
Yeah, I definitely, when I was younger, it was the same sort of situation. I wanted to play an action-y sort of game, and funny enough, Final Fantasy X, speaking of it, was the first real turn-based RPG game that I ever played. Because I played through Kingdom Hearts and I saw all those characters from 10. I was like, what's this? Let's see about what's going on here. And I played through that. And now, I mean, I do enjoy that turn-based RPG sort of situation, but because like right now I'm kind of like in a renaissance of that. Like I just finished, like I said, Clair Obscur, and I'm now, because I realized I hadn't done it, weirdly enough, I'm going through Deltarune Chapter 2, I'm almost through, and then I have to pick up 3 and 4, so I can go through those with your turn-based stuff. But then occasionally my brain will flip a switch, and I will want to go through and, like, I just jumped on Street Fighter 4 again the other night. Like,
right.
I want to shut my brain down and go into, like, this reptilian just punch it until it's dead.
Punch it.
Yeah.
I get that. There's definitely, I think that's something about beat 'em ups that speaks to me too. Just like, like especially when I get both halves, and beat 'em ups are in that spot now where I'm getting like both sides, where it's like it's stimulating the like cool systems side of my brain, but it's also like punch it till it dies. Like, and I love that about it. I am so excited about Absalom, which we're going to talk about later in the Gamescom coverage. But I think all are true. And finally, Jason says, Grounded 2 had me when they included the beginning breaking news in the announcement trailer with formerly evil company Ominent Practical Technologies. That told me right off the bat Grounded 2 wasn't going to be a dead-eyed zombie of its predecessor. I love in that ad, too, where they're showing her, she's like, and no more testing, not on teenage children. Like, it was so good. There's something about Grounded 2 that speaks to me like Grounded 1 never did. And I put some hours into Grounded 1. But there's something else that I love about it that I'm starting to enjoy, is that Stella can play it. And is actually, it's well enough made right off the bat that she can play it and be at least proficient at it. We're on the lower difficulty level. But she's still like helping me take down bugs and actually being like useful. I mean, you add in the fact that she's got her own buggy as well. I've got my own buggy, so there's technically 4 of us. It just makes for a more smoother and exciting experience, which I don't think to this day I could play Grounded 1 with my daughter and it be anything more than a very frustrating mess. Whereas Grounded 2 just like, it's perfect. We're rocking it out, and I love Grounded 2. I keep playing it. It's like I am done with just about everything. There's only like 2 things that I haven't found and done, and I don't think I've ever like put that much into an early access game before even its first update. It's just a great game. It's definitely like leading the way for my Game of the Year nominations, my Experience of the Year nominations, without a doubt. Like I am just entranced by it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's definitely, it's not often that the sequel anymore, at least it used to be back in the day that the sequel was better than the first one. And then there's been the past 10-15 years where the sequel has just been the first one but again, but yeah, it's very rare that you get that actual like improvement on the sequel.
Yeah, without a doubt. All right, well, that is it for Fans Reaction. So thank you, everybody, for your comments. If you want us to read out your comments and talk about it, feel free to comment, and we'll talk about it. Now we're going to go to our talking point, and it has been a super big trend that indie games do Nintendo games better than Nintendo, and we're gonna discuss that. So yeah, we'll be right back with that.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, it brings us to our talking point today, and we just had Gamescom. I was a little bit more excited about it than Neil was, and again, neither one of us really watch these shows anymore. We tend to just check out the trailers and shit and whatnot. So yeah, one thing that has become incredibly evident in the last couple of years is that indie games do Nintendo a lot better than Nintendo lately. It has been this trend of people going, "Hey Nintendo, remember this IP that you have? Could you make that again?" And Nintendo going, "No, no one would buy that, even though people are asking for it." So then an indie game goes, "Well, we want that, so we'll just make that game and call it something else." And I think that was super evident at Gamescom. We had a couple of huge trailer, like Silk Song, which arguably is a Metroidvania or a Metroid-like game that's very Nintendo-esque. Metroid. We also had Wild Blue, which is Star Fox. It's Star Fox. They even straight up say lines from Star Fox, but this isn't the only precedent we have set for this. Like, you look back at things before this, you can see things like Ukulele. We can also reference things like the F-Zero game that you really liked from last year.
Yeah, the Aero GPX.
Which there's another one coming out that I sent you the trailer for.
Yes.
So that's two F-Zero likes without an actual F-Zero style game. And then there was another one I wanted to reference. And hell, they're suing people like Pocket Pair and Pal World over trying to do Pokemon. So arguably, I know Jason's gonna fight with me that Pal World is a completely different game, Pokemon or whatever. I know we always get into a weird argument about semantics on it. It is innovating on the monster collecting genre in a way that Nintendo refuses to. And that's where we're at now, where Nintendo ends up with these weird nostalgia-based redos every so often, but the games that are actually like doing the Nintendo games are independent creators.
What's really insane to me too is like they've even been handing out IP here and there for people to do stuff with. I mean, we take a look at the Metroid 2 remake.
Yes.
That was handled. Was it a Mercury Steam, I believe it was?
Yeah.
They took that and did it after seeing what was done with Castlevania, which basically was, I would call it a Nintendo adjacent property, just because it did live a lot of its life on a Nintendo platform, at least out of the gate. They just don't want to do the things that people want. I will never, ever understand why that is. I mean, they lose their damn minds when people try to pirate the games that they don't even give us access to anymore. We would buy them or anything. Like, that's part of the reason why Virtual Console was so great on the Wii and Wii U, because that gave you that option that you could just go on and just buy the version of that game. You don't have to dick around making sure you have secondhand hardware, secondhand sale, everything like that. Nintendo, listen to me. I will give you my money. Take my money for a Star Fox game, new Star Fox game. Nope, can't do that. What about an F-Zero game? Well, we gave you F-Zero GX on the GameCube Nintendo Online. That is great. I literally
and that weird battle royale.
Or that battle royale. I literally have 2 F-Zero GX copies upstairs for my GameCube because I love that game so much that I couldn't find my disc the one time after looking for about an hour and bought a second copy. Like, I will give you the money for it, and Nintendo just doesn't want it. They want you to want what they want you to want, not what you want, which is so bizarre to me. So now we're in this situation where, okay, well, we're just going to give somebody else this money. And then you get into this even weirder situation to where in some cases, like you said, they're suing people, everything like that for all of this. Like, maybe if you gave us the thing that we are asking for, we wouldn't have to give those other people money. I would love to give somebody else my money, to be absolutely fair. But if you're going to sell me what I want to buy, I will pay money for that thing to get it from you. And I just don't understand what the disconnect is.
I don't get it either. That's my big thing. Like, look, I love to Nintendo bash on this podcast. It's one of my favorite pastimes. But I'm trying to speak from a point, from a place of logic. And Nintendo is not lacking in studios. They are not lacking in personnel. But for whatever reason, they release maybe 2 games a year, maybe 3, that are completely original and new, not just remasters or redos of older games. It's basically like 2 or 3 games. And those games that they release are relatively, like, and look, I'm probably going to get hit hard for this, but they're subpar. They're subpar with a shot of nostalgia and one interesting feature on it. You know, you look at like let's say Mario Odyssey, okay? Mario Odyssey, the hat thing, switching hats, taking over people, possessing people with hats. That was the getcha feature. And then for everything else, it was just another 3D Mario game with a shot of nostalgia. And they go out of their way to show that nostalgia, and they create a pretty straightforward, good experience. I'm not necessarily saying it's a bad experience, but you look at then Donkey Kong Bonanza, same thing. You got a basically a 3D open world Nintendo game, like every other ones we saw, but he can punch through anything. Okay, cool, but it's a shot of nostalgia. Like, I would say the only thing truly innovative they've done, in my opinion, is the Zelda games recently. Even Metroid Prime 4, which is coming out, I'm sure it will be a solid entry. I think it'll be just another Metroid Prime 4. I think it'll just be another Metroid Prime. Whereas then you have these independent companies taking the things that Nintendo won't touch and won't do for whatever reason, and like innovating on it, making it new, making it interesting, making it fresh. I think that's really weird. And I don't know why Nintendo's, I don't want to say allowing that. I mean, I suppose they could be suing everybody at this point, but I don't know why they're not just making them themselves. That's my big thing. I mean, the biggest complaint right now on the market for the Switch 2, what is it? Other than price. Price is number one. Everybody bitches about the price, even though everybody wants to buy it anyway. Everybody bitches about the price, but what's the second biggest complaint?
Oh, there ain't no games.
There's
and
no
the
games.
Ones that they do, and just a quick aside, the ones that they do have, when you look at like big, like first-party Nintendo games, at least what's coming down the pipeline now, the third of the major releases is going to be a second racing game.
A second kart racer. You beat me to my point. I was going there. We have 2 kart racers and Donkey Kong Bonanza. That's it. Like, everything else is like a remake or a redone or something with DLC or like a digital small kind of aside. We have 3 fucking Switch 2 games, and they are 2 kart racers and Donkey Kong Bonanza. Whereas, how cool would the Switch 2 be? Even with the price being jacked out of the fucking stratosphere, how cool would it be if it was also launching with a new Star Fox game, a new F-Zero game, you know, a new Metroid side-scrolling, as well as a Metroid Prime.
Yes.
You know, like, holy shit, so many things to give you. I mean, Metroid Dread, which is Metroid 5, right? 5. Mm-hmm. Why don't we get a 6? Or something in that vein? People loved that game. People loved that side-scrolling old school Metroid. Like, there are so many things that they could be going back to other than just this like weird shot of like nostalgia with a little feature, and then they pretend like it's the biggest release that's ever happened, you know? And it's not. I think even with how much this console has sold, yes, Donkey Kong Bonanza has been like, everybody loves it. I don't get it, but everybody loves it. I'm sure it's a solid game. I'm not insulting it, but to me,
It's a 7. I have it. It's a 7.
That's what I'm saying. Like, to me, it's just another Nintendo paint by numbers 3D open world game. Like, they love those 3D platforming games. They do every one basically the same. And Mario Kart, whatever it is, Mario Kart World, that has been middling. Like, that has been mixed reviews at best, in my opinion.
Yeah, and to just kind of go on that a little bit, just because recently I actually went through all the Grand Prix on it. So I went through and unlocked the Special Cup and everything like that. I mean, outside of the Knockout Tour and the open world mode, I mean, I already technically rolled credits because I got a gold cup in each of the ones, and they wanted $80 for that game.
Yep.
I'm fortunate enough that I got it for $50 because I bought the bundle, but yeah, it's like why what, like, and for what they're charging for these
Yes.
games too, not even the
Yeah.
console itself, what they are charging for the games and what you're actually getting in the end. Meanwhile, I can go on, just because we were talking about it and I realized I played Hollow Knight very briefly on Xbox, but I
did too.
added it onto my list on Steam. For $15 right now, I can buy Hollow Knight.
Mm-hmm.
I can buy Hollow Knight, or instead of like, because I own all the Metroid games, but like if I wanted Metroid Dread, I could go and pay $60 for that. Or I can get basically that same fix for a whole hell of a lot cheaper.
Oh, hell, man. And you know that, like, Wild Blue, Silk Song, like, the games that are coming out, the next F-Zero game, you and I both know none of them are going to be a dollar over $40.
Yeah, $40 easy.
$50 maximum.
Maybe.
They ain't going to be 80. Nobody's selling an independent Nintendo, like, nobody's selling an independent game for that much. So, like, you've got Nintendo doing subpar versions of their own games for $30 more than, like, the indie. Why wouldn't I take a risk on a new indie game? Why wouldn't I? So, yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of other examples too, like Advanced Wars. There's like two indie games that like blew Advanced Wars out of the water because they won't do another Advanced Wars. There's tons of examples like this. I can't even begin to list them all here because my memory isn't that good. But like, independents love to do this, and I don't understand it. Like, completely from a logistical point of view, not just Zach hates Nintendo, but like, you have tons of personnel at Nintendo, tons of studios at Nintendo. Why? And not only that, there have been rumors that you overwork them. What are they working on? What are like what are you doing with these staff that you're just releasing these like 2 games? Shigeru Miyamoto himself even said Kirby is just another kart racer. Like, recently in an interview, he is literally on record saying, oh, it's basically just Mario Kart again. What?
And what's absolutely insane about that is they are on record when they were asked why there's not been another F-Zero game. They pointed to Mario Kart 8 and said, oh, we already got one of those over here. Why? The same thing, but in a different way. And they're literally doing that. Like, literally doing that right now. I don't understand. I can't fathom it.
Yeah, I can't fathom it either. Especially, I mean, completely aside from the fact that fucking Nintendo, that F-Zero is a completely different racing game than a kart racer. Like, a kart racer and F-Zero is a completely different thing. You then add in the fact that now you've made 2 kart racers. So there's literally, like, your own argument is wiped out. It's very confusing to me. I will say this though, from what my experience has been, I like the indie versions of the Nintendo games better anyway. I think that one thing about Nintendo is that they have kind of run out of things to say in a lot of ways. Like, as developers, they really like the pomp and circumstance. They like their Nintendo Directs. They like their CEOs on white screens saying, thank you, please enjoy this one more thing, and then their trailers. And everybody to get really excited about another remake of another Zelda game or another Mario game. But, like, you're running out of shit to say, and you really need to find something new. I'm going to go out on a limb as well. Nintendo needs some new IPs. Like, maybe it's time to stop doing the things that you're doing. Like, leave it to the indies. Let the indies make Star Fox games and F-Zero games. Do something new. Because whatever your creative juices are, I feel like they've run out. The well is empty because I feel like it's a regurgitation with something new or small, you know?
I wouldn't say... I think that I would say more so something that we've talked about before with, like, Castlevania. I think that they should just license them out. Just license out IP. Like, y'all don't want to make Metroid games? That's fine. You got Retro Studios working on the Metroid. Just have Retro just do Metroid games.
Yep.
Because then they can do their 3D. They can fuck around and do a 2D too. So that way they can make their own timeline lineage. We know that Retro does this and does it well. They do it so well that Prime 4 was originally taken off of Bandai Namco's hands.
Yep.
They were the original developers, and they were like, absolutely not. Fuck that shit. They started over. That's why we've been waiting so long. So hand that off to them. You know, let's get somebody else to do F-Zero. Let's get somebody else to do Star Fox. You know, get some of this, give us what we want with a fresh view for the people who actually want to do that, and let you guys figure out whatever the hell it is that you want to do. Hell, I'll even take it one step further. With how people are with Nintendo IP, they very well could just be the holders of the IP and do like a Steam sort of thing. License that shit out everywhere, man.
Yep.
Meet your qualities, checks and balances. You know, do your Nintendo seal of quality. Make sure that, you know, if you're going to hand the reins of something over to somebody else who's going to make it multi-platform, that you get the final say to make sure it meets your standards. Because I feel like there's a lot of other developers out there that would be chomping at the bit to not only make that game, but make that game for other consoles too.
Without a doubt.
They don't do well with hardware. I mean, that always sells, but because of the IP, nobody gets a Switch for the power. They get the Switch for the games that are going to be stuck to it.
I completely concur with that. You couldn't have said it better. I think Nintendo, at the end of the day, needs to figure out its control issues and deal with them, because it's hindering the company in a way. I think we covered this. Let's take a quick break, and we're going to talk about a couple of little news stories that both me and Neil have collected in Gamescom.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, guys, that brings us to the news. Smaller news stories we want you guys to know about. Want to riff about them. Want to get them out there. I actually did the only actual news story other than us just talking about Gamescom, and that is Randy Pitchford, which another thing we like to kick around here is how douchey he is. You remember everybody out there, that whole price situation where he was like $80, people need to find a way to buy it, and then everybody was like, fuck you, and then he was like, fuck you everybody, and then they made it cheaper anyway. So he's at it again. So the dust is settled, and we're all good, and
kick it back up again.
and everybody's happy. And Borderlands is coming out in what, September or October, something like that.
September 12th, I believe.
September 12th. Everybody's happy again. Everybody's forgotten. So he gets on his bandstand and says, "I think they could charge $200 for Borderlands 4. You can't find a better value in the world for any type of entertainment." Then he adds, "But I wish they'd give it away for free, because then everyone would play it."
Suck my ass. Suck my whole ass. Like, dude, you don't get to say that shit to begin with, especially after all the shit that you've been spouting over the past, 2-3 months.
Oh my God.
That we've been going through this whole price situation and him just opening his fucking mouth and just saying things. Like that's the only way I can really classify it, because like he's like, oh well, you're not a real gamer if you can't find the money to buy this game that's probably gonna be overpriced. And then he like wrote like 4 books worth of tweets about his explanations of the reasoning for the price, and then he was like, hey, it's out of my control, but oh, by the way, all this negative backlash, well, it's gonna be a $70 game, it's gonna be fine, but I really fucking wish we could charge $200 because we could probably get $200 for it, but you know what, we should just give it to everybody for free, but I can't do that. What drugs?
The level,
what drugs?
There's no drugs. It's a level of narcissism that is like you. So first of all, you are saying that your game is worth more than some of the consoles out there for sale. It's so good. And then you say, but I would rather give it away for free because everyone would play it. I'm not going to play it. You could give it away for free. I probably won't play it. I might play it just to do a review for the channel, but I'm not going to play it. I got bored with the last one, Randy. So, like, stop, full stop right there. Like, the level of fucking over the top, my shit is the best shit ever. So this is like, it's crazy to think how highly you think of yourself. I'm going to tell you right now, $200 for a video game. I as a person am worth like $175 tops, period. like no way $200. $200? Are you crazy? Are you crazy?
One time long ago, I went to go get a copy of Microsoft Word just to see, what that was going to cost, back when I was still in school and everything like that. And it was like $150 for a copy of Microsoft Word.
Yeah.
Like, that's too much for something that is like good for productivity and like you can actually use for real fucking things.
Right.
$200 for a single solitary game. Even if you pack in all if you bought it at full retail and you're thinking considering like DLC costs and everything like that too, even that's out there. The most I have ever spent on a copy of a game is $125. And that is because it was the collector's edition of Kingdom Hearts 3. There are very few games that I will do something like that with. The only other time that I've gotten a more expensive version of a game, Doom Eternal, but that's because it came with the DLC that was coming after launch anyway, so you're just pre-buying the DLC that I was gonna purchase anyways.
Yep. $90 for me. That's the most I've ever spent on a video game. In one single purchase on a video game. $90. Don't want to talk about what the game was. I mean, I like the game, but it is what it is.
Even my collector's edition of Street Fighter up there that has it's a limited edition.
Right.
I think there's only 50,000 of these that were ever made. I have one of them. It's got a certificate of authenticity and everything. It wasn't even $100.
It's great. It's madness to think of that. So I think we cover that. He's a fucking idiot. I think recently Take-Two was asked about Randy Pitchford's like antics, and even the Take-Two CEO was like, yeah, he could be a little bit much sometimes, but he's still a valuable member of our team. I'm like, sure he is. Or do you just sit there like, what the fuck did he say today? Like, just shut up and let the game be sold, man. So Gamescom happened. We got to talk at least a little bit about it, or we can't call ourselves a video game podcast. So here's what I propose to you, my friend Neil. We each pick 2 things, at least, that we are excited for from Gamescom, and maybe one thing that we can bitch about. And we just do that. Real quick.
I'll be honest. It was so unremarkable for me, watching it at least, There were only really two things. Like the Wild Blue, I didn't even see that at the show. Like,
It was like day 3.
yeah, I was gonna say,
Yep.
like that there, if that was in the show, if they would have put that in the show, they would have given me something to give a shit about. The only thing I really cared about was Silk Song, which honestly, like they kind of spoiled that anyways, because he was talking about like, oh, big announcement with this, basically like a couple days beforehand. So I mean that there, it's real. I've been seeing the memes now of the character from Hollow Knight passing a clown nose and clown wig over to a character from Bloodborne, and is like, now it's your turn. But there's that, and I wouldn't say I'm excited for this. I'm just more so surprised / curious. The sequel to Black Myth Wukong, they're calling it Black Myth something or other. It was the And One More Thing.
Yeah.
Which, if I remember correctly, like they announced Black Myth Wukong like forever ago, and it just kept getting delay on delay on delay on delay on delay. And now they're doing a sequel to it not very long after. It's been
like
about
a year or two.
right?
Yeah.
Like that's some old school like PS2 era sort of shit. How long have they been working on?
Yeah, like, exactly. Well, you've already broken my proposed format, so I will also in turn break it. I will say this right off the bat. I'll get my negative out of the way. I think my biggest negative about these shows is opening night anymore and whatever Jeff Keighley brings to the table. And look, I'm going to say it. I don't know if I'm echoing the public statement at this point. I don't know if I'm in tune with the public. I mean, obviously, I thought the Switch was going to fail and it didn't. So I'm out of touch in some way, shape, or form. But that being said, I'm not excited about AAA games anymore. I don't care about another Battlefield and then another Call of Duty and then... And Silk Song, cool. It's not for me, but I can appreciate it being finally announced. People have been waiting for it for a long time. But the Fallen Myth Wukong, like, seems kind of like a joke to me, like that is even being considered an actual game that's coming. Whereas everything, and I've noticed this from the last like 2 Gamescoms, the last couple of Summer of Gamings too. Like every time they do these festival things, opening night just has nothing real or nothing exciting, and then it's night 2 and 3 and 4. It's the Future Game Show and it's the Indie Game Show. Those are the things that I get excited for. Wild Blue was, I think, day 2 or 3. The He-Man retro beat 'em up got me very excited because retro beat 'em ups, yay! I'm just excited for them.
That one.
Yeah, the He-Man one. I think that was night 2 or 3, and looks cool as shit, man. I love beat 'em ups. I love that they're getting some retro feels. I like that He-Man is perfect for that. So that makes a lot of sense to me. Both of those were things that got me very excited. Not like what else? What else was there? Like there wasn't really anything else there at the show to excite me. I'm kind of still mad at Outer Worlds 2. And you know, I know everybody's kind of thinks I'm obsessed with banging in video games, but like the fact that like one of the biggest features people wanted from the first one that wasn't in there is specifically not in this one.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I thought that
all
was
right.
funny.
Completely aside from the fact that I have a weird obsession with doing it in video games and having romantic storylines, people wanted that in the first one. It wasn't there. And they were like, we just didn't want to do that. And then the second one rolls around. They jack the price up. They make it like super huge. Like they put so much more into this and they still leave that feature out is mind-boggling to me. I don't know. It didn't do a whole lot for me. I like Wild Blue, was very excited about that. He-Man, I was very excited about that. There was another one that I was very excited about, and for whatever reason, I cannot remember which one it was. But like, Absalom. Absalom got its release date trailer that's coming out on October 9th. Just after my birthday. I don't think you guys understand. I have 30 hours into the demo of that game. That's how much I love that game. I cannot wait for that game to come out. That game is a near perfect beat 'em up, in my opinion. Super excited. But all of these things were day 2, day 3, day 4. None of them were day 1. None of them were opening night with Keeley. Opening night with Keeley was Keeley running around doing Keeley stuff while he announced games that are so big. God, who cares about Call of Duty and Battlefields anymore? Like, I just don't understand. And look, I'm going to say it. What are any of you people doing playing those games anymore? They're not good. They stopped being good forever. Call of Duty stopped being good when you could, like, teabag people as the rock skin in a Battlefield mode. Like, it's fucking stupid. Like, Battlefield hasn't been good for the last 3 games, and now you're telling me that this one's going to be the one that's good? Like, no thank you. The Fallen Myth one, I don't even think that's a real game yet. I think that's, just like you said, I think that's like a video package to get hype for investors. I don't remember the other things that were on day 1 other than Silksong. But Silksong, okay, it's got a release window. I think it has a release date now of September or something.
Release date, yeah, September.
I believe it when it comes out. It's one of those like, okay, sure. When it comes out, I'll tell you if I think it's good or not. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't buy it anymore with that stuff. So I don't know. Like, to me, opening night is a joke. So, like, I don't even watch the shows anymore. I will pick and choose the footage I watch on YouTube. You know, I watched a great interview with the guys who are working on Grounded 2 and their fall update, their Tarantula boss that's coming. I watched a pretty good, like, couple of gameplay reveals on some things. But, yeah, like, I don't watch that show. Those shows are jokes until, like, night 2, 3, or 4, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely, like, I feel like Gamescom, it's funny because I actually watched the show itself fully through this year. Yeah, my week's been weird, so
I get it.
So yeah, I watched the whole thing through, and Keeley made a joke at the beginning about how it's like E3 didn't die, it just moved to Germany, and everybody's like, woo! I'm like, okay, so we're gonna put this in that caliber. It's definitely not. Gamescom and Tokyo Game Show are those shows that people had announcements for that weren't ready for the Summerfest. They had stuff in the pipeline that they didn't have necessarily ready to go to show. I feel like they're consolation prizes, I guess, is the best way I can really describe it. I don't think of Gamescom as, like, the event.
I mean, it is now. I mean, unless you want to acquiesce to the summer of gaming being the event, that's not the event, in my opinion. I feel like that's the consolation prize now. The Gamescom, to me, I've always enjoyed Gamescom. We've had this discussion before. Back in the day, I always thought E3 was like a lot of lies, while Gamescom was like people playing games and talking about the games they actually played, and that made me feel good. That's one of the things that I don't like about this Gamescom, is I feel like opening night was more like an E3 opening night, which is like, hey, here's a lie, here's another lie, here's another lie, here's another lie, here's another lie, bye everybody. You know, whereas Gamescom didn't used to be that. Gamescom used to be like, here's some stuff we actually got to play, here's some stuff we actually got to play. I don't know, though. I see where you're coming from, and I think that that line is out of place too, because Gamescom was around when E3 was around, man. Jeff, what are you doing? Like, it's not like it moved to Germany. If I was Gamescom, I'd be like, hey, shut up. We were here. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
right.
I don't know. Very weird. Plus, Gamescom back in the day, when they first started, and I'm going to show my age here, E3 wasn't something for public consumption. E3 was for, like, investors and stuff. That's why you couldn't get tickets. There wasn't really a ticket thing back in the day. Gamescom was for people to play games, like you to go there and see the games and play the games. They served different functions. Then E3 tried to be Gamescom while also being E3, which made no fucking sense and ended up dying. And now Gamescom is trying to be E3 while also being Gamescom, which makes no fucking sense. Like,
No, not at all. Not even close.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. All right. We covered it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to take a break, we're going to plug, and we're going to call it a day.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the show and the shameless self-promotion that comes with it. My good friend Neil, what would you like to plug, sir?
Well, we are kind of getting everything all figured out now that schedules are changing and stuff is kind of finagling around here. We do have on the books to get some more BG3L3 going through here
Which has been
soon.
a kind of popular show, not going to lie. We've been actually getting some good views on it, which is surprising because the first 4 episodes I fucked up the audio. So
That's fine. It's fine. I enjoy it because I get to play it from a completely different standpoint. I don't know if we've gone into it in the show itself or not, but because of how we have Kayla's playing it down on her computer, I'm playing it upstairs on the PlayStation, and we're using Discord.
Oh,
Zach,
yeah.
of course, is on PC too. It is so freeing and relaxing for me to just lay on the couch while I'm doing this. Freely accessible to all things. I'm not attached to my console. I can literally, if it's not my turn, just get up off the couch and go get a snack or something. It's fantastic.
We have discussed it because you have gotten snacks while we've been playing.
Yes, I believe snack happened in the middle at one point. But yeah, so we're doing that, and I know at some point here we're really going to be kicking into Ordo. I think we had mentioned something about trying to get something lined up next month, maybe.
Yeah, probably. It's trickier now because I am, as most of you know who have been listening for a long time, I am a school bus driver. School is now in session. I have to wake up at 5:15 in the morning to do said job. And we record almost all of this stuff after 8 p.m. So it gets kind of tricky because I can't be staying up till 11 o'clock every night. I just can't. I'm too old, too fat, and just don't have it in me. So I slow down. I do max 2 recordings a week, and I really want to get at least 6 episodes of Astral Drive done and up before we go back to recording Ordo. Plus, I am also recording Dual Bastards, which will be a new actual play show coming out soon. When the seasons of those have ended, we will go back into Ordo. That's what we will do. So, and hopefully those seasons, the recordings of those seasons will be ending soonish. The other thing is, too, Astral Drive can only be recorded once every 2 weeks. So, I'm trying to make it so that, like, we're kind of alternating a little bit, you know what I mean? So that there is a hole for us to, like, do an Ordo here and there and then just release it when it's all together. But yes, I am working on Season 3. I've already ironed out the monster that you guys will be facing, and some of the plot, some of the investigation sites and whatnot. But yeah, so that was a lot of long-winded way to say yes. But watch BGL3. It is seriously, it's one of the funniest shows I've ever been a part of. Me, Neil, and his lovely wife Kayla. I don't know. I like to rewatch that show because there is a chemistry there for all 3 of us. I find it funny. And Neil has left me. So, there you go. All right. He's having some dog issues. So, I'm going to wrap this up by saying, so check out everything the channel has to offer.
Don't mind me.
Don't mind Neil. Check out everything the channel has to offer. Check out BGL3. And if you're on the TTRPG side, keep your eyes open because that will be coming. I haven't been doing reviews lately because there's just been nothing I want to play. I've just been playing Grounded 2 or Age of Wonders. And until Absalom comes out, I don't know that I will be playing anything else. So just keep that in mind. You guys can, as long as you guys keep watching and listening, we'll keep making. We'll see you guys next week.
That's always the best.
Oh,
That's
dude.
always the best. I've always said, like, if like when it comes to shit like that, if I was ever on like some sort of reality show or anything like that, my fear of being like the worst has always been
Yeah.
if I am not kicked off of the show first, I won. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it. Whether I the very next person or I win
Right.
the whole fucking thing, I don't care. I wasn't the first one out. I wasn't the problem.
Me and my wife watch Big Brother every year. Like that show, we watch it, and every year I'm like, I could totally do this. I definitely could do this. But then there's a little voice that is inside me that like, they'd vote you out first, and you would have to go home. Then you wouldn't even make it to like just before jury. You would go out first. No one would want you in alliance. I'm like every time I almost apply, I'm like, no, don't want to
should
be
do it.
that guy.
You should do it. You should do it. You absolutely could do it.
Just pimp my show. Oh, I definitely think they would take me just because I have so many. Like if I put it all in the application, like, oh yeah, I'm a YouTube tabletop role playing game bus driver. Like that guy. We want that guy. Bring that guy in. Bring that guy in. Been happily married for 15 years with a kid. Him. We need him.
Absolutely. He'll be that guy who breaks down halfway through the show. Just so you need to see my wife and kid again and just leave.
I just need to see my wife and kid. I need to go. These people are crazy and they say words I don't understand. Because they're all going to be younger than me by like 30 years.